Like, so to go back about, conservatives are ready to hear this about the deep state a little bit. Well, why is that? It's because the FBI Counterintelligence Division and the CIA framed our most recent president for high treason with the Kremlin, of all things. And they just framed him. They falsely accused him. They set up his people and trapped his people into perjury traps and all these things. They leaked 100 fake stories to the media throughout. And for 3 years, they pretended that the president of the United States, well, starting with the major party already nominated candidate for president of the United States, who they framed, then the president-elect, then the president himself, for 3 years through, continued to insist to the American people that it was true that this guy was a traitor. And who was it that set him up? The FBI Counterintelligence Division and the CIA were the ones who did all the lying. So you talk about unaccountable bureaucrats who can't be fired. This is the Gestapo. This is the secret police. Now, look, if J. Edgar Hoover is doing something horrible and wrong when he uses COINTELPRO against poor black activists in Oakland, then what does it mean when the FBI does that to the president of the United States of America? Just an outright frame up counterintelligence program hit job like what they did. Well, what got us to this? What got us this? Go back, rewind. Again, we don't even need to bring in the Democrats on this. It was Ike Eisenhower. And we all learned this. This is the acceptable conspiracy theory. It's a shade of a conspiracy theory you're allowed to believe in because Ike Eisenhower said it. He was a 5-star general. He was the commander of all Supreme Allied United Nations forces in Europe in World War II. And then he became the 8-year, 2-term president of the United States of America. And he was, famously said, God help the next president trying to control the U.S. Army and what these guys want to do. And he gave his Cross of Iron speech where he said, don't think this is all free. Every battleship we make is a couple of schools we didn't build. Every missile we put together is people going hungry. And don't think there's not a trade-off here. 5-star general, president of the United States talking like this, Republican saying this. And then on his last day in power, he said, you know what? Sorry to leave you guys in the lurch like this, but there is essentially a new combination of power that has defeated the U.S. Constitution, that has already subverted democracy, and it's too late for you to do anything about it. Good luck. And he called it was just the military-industrial complex. Famously, he wanted to add congressional, but people would thought that he thought, or his advisor, somebody said to him, that sounds like a little bit too much like you want a more supreme executive over the Congress, which isn't the argument, right? It's just the argument is that Congress is so corrupted by these arms dealers, it doesn't cost much to run a congressional campaign. We're talking about, pennies on the dollar, not even. We're talking the slightest remainder on the checks they're cashing that they have to recycle into the system to put their congressmen back in power. And then nowadays things have gotten more sophisticated, of course, with all of the think tanks and all that. But, the Council on Foreign Relations was founded by the Morgan Group in the first place, and then was taken over by the Rockefellers. That was the first big think tank. And then from there, let 1,000 think tanks bloom.